Hey, nice people. Happy Friday, and it is so good to be connected with you from our beloved sanctuary, this place that is soon going to be where we regularly gather for worship. We are preparing, as we have announced previously, for a safe return to worship in the sanctuary, starting on Sunday, June 6th at 10:30 a.m. We are convening groups safely on campus, and there is work being done on the building, but we are also gradually raising the activity level on campus, and I can assure you it's joyful, and you will feel that joy when you get the opportunity to gather in this sanctuary for worship, as you have long yearned to do. The cloud of concern and uncertainty is lifting. There's no other way to interpret the times. Thanks to vaccinations, the game is changing. And we will continue to pray for the places where that is not true and the people for whom that is not yet true. But here at St. Luke's, we are going to adapt our protocols going forward to be in keeping with what appear to be rapidly adapting CDC guidelines. We have prioritized wellness and protection throughout the pandemic, especially for the vulnerable, as Christ has taught us to do. But this week, as you probably know, the CDC announced it's safe for vaccinated people to gather indoors and outdoors without masks, recommending masks for vaccinated people only in congested areas. And as a church that has continually, always sought to be guided by CDC recommendations of safe activity and not undertake any practices until we know they're safe, these wonderful announcements about the success of vaccinations in avoiding illness and avoiding transmission, it will certainly have an impact on how we do things here at the church in ways that will hopefully feel liberating to us all. The session of the church is meeting this Sunday, and we'll discuss how regathering for worship on Sundays will be done going forward, and we'll certainly announce what sanctuary worship and other morning worship will look like soon. But it's reasonable to expect, as you might imagine, that we will adhere, as we have constantly strived to do, to the new guidelines with mindfulness, though, as we do of those not yet vaccinated. Based on our recently circulated survey of the congregation and our various vaccination and comfort levels, we are really pleased to discover that we are a congregation with a very high vaccination rate. Every one of the 152 people who filled out our survey are vaccinated or intend to be by June, as are nearly all the eligible members of their household. And of course, 12 to 15-year-olds are now joining them, and we hope kids below 12 too, as soon as possible. And in our commitment to safekeeping, we will continue to be mindful that not everyone can yet be vaccinated, especially children, and we will conduct ourselves compassionately with that reality in mind. But we're moving gradually, maybe we wish we could move even faster to this joyful time towards which we're headed, but we're moving from a time where we needed to be collectively protective in concert as a whole church to a time where individuals and households will need to make safekeeping decisions for themselves in mind of CDC recommendations and in mind of your own contexts and vaccination status, and so this move from a consensus approach to all of what we do and how we do it to a more individual and household-based approach is a hopeful development that will be unfolding in our weeks to come. But it's a shift in making that we can exhibit our Christian graciousness to one another as we have strived to do throughout this difficult time. But we can be patient with each other. We can be patient with our church and our leaders, and we can be open and understanding of each other in different situations with different contexts and comfort levels. It'll take some time before our beloved community catches its collective sense of balance again. There's a lot of change going on, and there's a lot to consider in the changing that is now opening up for us. And though it'll take some time, we can be here for each other as we praise God for our deliverance from pandemic. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned a neurobiology specialist who has studied the way our brains have functioned during the pandemic and been on pretty constant alert for a long time now. As that neurobiologist mentioned, it'll take some time and some intention to come down from that protective posture. But we can, as we do that over time with intention, we can thank God for the safe developing contexts all around us and the great game-changing gift of vaccinations. Praise God for them. Come join us for worship on Sunday, one of our remaining Sundays in the beauty of springtime outdoor worship, so that we can give thanks to God for all these wonderfully hopeful gifts, the ones we have in each other and the precious unfolding one we're receiving in the receding tide of this difficult time that we've all gone through together. I thank God for all of this and for all of you. See you Sunday. Peace.